everyone. Hope all is well. So now we are going to be doing a vertical analysis of the balance sheets of Walmart and Costco, continuing on from our previous session in which we did some vertical analysis of the income statement, and it had revealed to us various points. Now, what is the vertical analysis when it comes to the balance sheet? So I'm just going to quickly write the key point. You are going to take everything as a percentage of total assets. Okay. Now, this is the key word in vertical analysis that for the balance sheet of, like I've taken quarter two of both the companies, I am going to basically take percentages of the individual numbers as a percentage of the total assets. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to quickly show you. Okay, so here are my total assets. This I'm going to color code with a light blue color for your reference. Okay, and this total assets again always matches your liabilities equity totals. So if you compare these two line items, 67,911 here and 254,440 for the other company Walmart, you will see that they match. Now every line item over here should be a percentage of the other of the total assets. So let's just quickly do the formulas. Okay. Okay, let's just quickly put in the formulas. I have basically made a percentage column for you guys. So this will be is equal to this line item divided by the total asset. If I do the percentage, right, it has to be in the percentage form. But I need to freeze this value. The reason being that the percentage, the denominator should always be the total asset value. So I'm just going to quickly press F4. Now this is frozen. Let me just quickly change this format to percentage. Okay, so this is over here. I'm going to copy the same formula over here. Just do the same thing again, is equal to this divided by my total asset figure. Press F4 again. Okay, and I'm going to do this as a percentage. Now, what this tells me is that cash and cash equivalents at Walmart are 3.4% of the total assets, and cash and cash equivalents in Costco are 15.32% of the total assets. So as you will see, the composition of the total assets is already starting to show that they are a little different. Okay, let me just quickly align these a little. Let me just take them down. Just remove this one so that most of the line items are in line with each other, so you can compare each and every line item together. Okay, so this has some short-term investments. So I'm again just copy pasting the formula here and there. My total current assets are 49.02% of the total assets. Just doing the formula pasting, nothing special. And then I'm just going to do the sum. Now, the reason I want to do the sum is to ensure that my formula is accurate, and all of this should add up to 100%. Okay. What is mistake I have made? Oh, yes. I have to take the sum from here to here. Okay. Yeah, it matches to 100% because this 49.02% is a total of all of these current asset totals. Okay, let me just quickly do this again. Okay. And let me just quickly copy this sum formula. Okay. Now, if I compare, just bold these out very quickly. Now, if I compare, let me add, another line item so that things are a little more friendly. Okay. Now the goodwill value, I am going to basically take it here because I don't see anything on the face of the balance sheet for Costco, but Walmart has some goodwill. Okay. So I'm just gonna give a heading, intangible asset. Okay. Uh, okay. Now the reason I'm doing this is that let me just left align this column also, that they all look similar. This one is center align. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that, so that all of the heads you can compare side by side. Hey, for example, Walmart holds 3% cash, Costco holds 15% cash. You know, receivables, they look similar, 3.8, 3.4%. Inventories, Costco has a higher inventory level as percentage of total assets versus Walmart. Other current assets, they're negligible. Property and equipment and so on and so forth. Okay, operating lease, other long, these match, these match. Right. And let me just add another line item for non-current assets. Sorry. And let me just add here total non-current assets. Okay. Let me just add these totals together. It should match to be 100% now. Yep. Okay. Oh, I forgot to total this one. Anyway, so now you will see different types of compositions. I'm gonna come to the comparison in a minute as soon as we're done. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for the liabilities portions. And as you know, that your liabilities and equity total equals your total assets total. So for the liabilities, I'm just gonna basically, you can copy the above formula, or I like to basically, uh, do this, like take the total equity and liability figure. It's the same thing, right? And let me just take this as a percentage, sorry, percentage here, increase some decimal places. Okay, I'm just copying, pasting this here, doing nothing fancy, just copy, pasting formulas. Yeah, I'm just checking if all of okay, we need some alignment to do. We have some work to do in terms of aligning these line items. Going to quickly do that first. Okay, so this is short-term borrowings. So accounts payable should come aligned over here. Yeah, they look aligned now. Yeah, accounts payable, accrued salaries, accrued no. Member rewards, deferred membership fees. Okay, so this basically are different. You can add them in accrued liabilities, but I just want to show a separate presentation so that you guys can basically see the way different companies classify different things. So I'm just going to add a few rows. Current portion of long-term debt should come over here. Accounts payable, this makes sense. Just add dividends payable over here. Move a few rows. I'm not copy pasting any other values because they're different companies with different obviously heads. So we'll just leave it as is. Okay. Now let's do the totaling thing again. Okay, so this is 67.94%. Your total liabilities are 67.94%. Okay, your current liabilities are 52.07% of this. Okay, so let me just add non-current, just add this. Let me add total non-current liabilities. Okay, if I add these together, I have pasted the total values right now, like taking it from the other table. Yeah, so they're matching right now. I'm not going to be basically doing anything fancy. I'm just going to copy the same thing again. Okay, so if I add these two together, just for checking purposes, 67.94%, my non-current liabilities and current liability amounts, and they match my total liability amount. Looking good so far. Let me just copy paste the same working again. Already, okay, so this one, same thing, just copy pasting, doing nothing fancy. Okay, so my total equity is 32.06%. If I add these together, yeah, it is 32.06%, my total equity, right? So this looks good. Let me just bolding the values and then bolder so that, the bold font. Okay, now if I total my total equity and my total liability, they should turn out to be 100%. Looks good up till now. Yeah, I'm going to do the same working here is equal to this divided by my total. Okay, just do it as a percentage so that it looks nice, comparable. Okay. I forgot to add the redeemable, this one, on controlling interest. Yeah. So the workings look good. I'm gonna quickly hold everything to check the numbers. Yeah. The total looks fine. Yeah, yeah. Let me just check these subtotals. What I do is I just select the cells by pressing control and then check it over the bottom over here, 64.32%. Everything looks in order up till now. Now, what is the power for, let me just delete this. Okay. Now, what is the power of this analysis? Okay. Let me just quickly show you. Okay. Now, if I want to compare the structures of the balance sheet, okay, if I want to compare the structures of the balance sheet, for example, I want to check versus Walmart and Costco, okay, how much is my total current assets? Okay. So let me type total, okay, current assets. I can see right now that my total current assets, which Costco contains, is 49.02% of the balance sheet value, right? In my total non-current assets, Costco contains 50.98% of the balance sheet asset value. Okay. Let me just recheck something because just want to, yeah, I didn't add the total intangible asset line item. I hadn't added it. Same thing because there is much to do here. Let's quickly. Okay. Yeah. Now things look better. So if I go to my filter, I just type in total. Now what I will see is that for Costco, if I compare Walmart and Costco, their current asset composition is higher as a percent of total assets. The non-current assets are lower as a percentage of their total assets. Now, what does this do? Because their absolute values might differ. Like in Walmart, the total assets are 254, 440, 4 billion, and then the 67 billion. So obviously, the absolute magnitude of the company is much higher. But when I come to this percentage column, I will see that I can have a much better understanding of the way the balance sheet and the company assets are structured. Like, for example, if I just quickly hide these columns, okay, I will hide this column and I will also hide this comparing column. Now, if I compare both of these data sets, you will see that for Walmart, the current assets composition, non-current asset composition, is different. It also contains some form of goodwill, which Costco balance sheet on the face of it doesn't show. 52.07% Costco has higher current liabilities, right? Walmart has lower current liabilities, but their non-current liabilities are higher. The composition of the total liabilities and equity or the total assets is 64%. Costco is slightly higher by 67.94%. Equity percentage is almost similar within those ranges, right? Total Costco stockholders' equity is 32.06%. Walmart is 33%. Total equity is 35.59%, which means that there is some form of non-controlling interest. And then we can just see it over here that Walmart has some form of non-redeemable controlling interest. I can also add that for our comparison purposes. Total non-redeemable. Just copy this, add total to the chart. And hide everything. Let me just quickly bold them for you. Add some rows. Okay. Let's go back to the filter. So the reason I want to show you this process is that how you can just make sense of the data. So they have some form of redeemable no, NCI, non-redeemable NCI, sorry, non-controlling interest. Then their equity balance is 36%, you are 32%, right? And then the liabilities are obviously the total matches. Now you can do some investigation. You can say, hey, why are the current assets of Costco higher? Okay, you can just basically drill down more. You can say they have a higher cash balance and a higher inventory balance versus Walmart. If I just do a very quick scan, I can see that there is a large amount of difference in the cash balance and this inventory balance. Okay, their property, plant, and equipment for Costco, their non-current assets are lower. Why? Because their property, plant, and equipment balance is lower, their leasing assets are lower, and their long-term assets are also lower. They don't have any sort of intangible. Walmart does, right? And if I look into my current liabilities figure, I can see that their accounts payable are higher. Walmart accounts payable is lower, which means different maybe credit terms, policies of the company which can be studied. Then Costco goes into details into these accrued membership, deferred membership fees, etc. Okay, and so on and so forth. Then you can basically check the different liability comparisons. Like for example, if I add all of these right now for my own understanding, these accrued member rewards, salaries and benefits, and other liabilities add up to around 22.74%, which is one of the reasons that it is higher than the Walmart liabilities. However, the Walmart long-term debt is higher, as you can see. Their operating lease obligations for Walmart are higher. Walmart is this one. Let me just freeze the rows for you so that you guys don't get confused. Okay. There are other liabilities, there's like deferred taxes for Walmart and everything, right? So they are also higher. So Walmart has a higher non-current liability balance. The total liabilities for Costco on the overall level are higher than Walmart by around 3%, right? And their mix between the current and non-current is also different, right? Equity, Costco has lower, Walmart has a little higher, and that's basically about it. So this will give you some sort of a perspective on how to be able to quickly and easily understand the different components of a financial statement balance sheet and do some sort of comparison as to the structure of the companies so that you guys can get some form of gauge of the idea. So thank you so much for this session, and we will hopefully continue this session with other analysis. So thank you so much. Bye bye.